Outlaws. Mom, Tanya, and me. We're going to be talking about recipes today. Okay,
Good
Mom,
morning, everyone.
you know something? You're from Poland, and I want to hear about all your recipes because they sound so good.
Well, I do have my favorites that I usually like try to do it all the time because my kids are very, did I say very picky that they don't like any food. They just very bland and simple people. So I have to cook always the same thing.
Okay.
But my favorite recipe is to make is a cheese squares.
Ooh, ooh, okay.
Like it's very quick and it's like resembles like you want to have a nice cheesecake first. The cheesecake to make is really long process, but the cheese squares is very easy.
Mm,
You need 2 packs of crescent rolls, like the 8 count,
yeah.
and then 2 8-ounce cream cheese, 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 1 egg yolk, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 teaspoon lemon juice, and you mix all the cheese together like that. And then
Mm,
you roll out the crescent rolls, like don't separate them, but just roll it out completely. And don't roll them out with the rolling pin, but just the way they are, just unroll it. And then, because then when separate them the way they are already separate, pre-separated. But when you put the cheese on, then you just put the other one on top of it, and then you just squish them together and you bake them the way you
ooh,
would bake anything else, and they're really good.
now that sounds good.
Yeah, that is, and
That
it's
does
really
sound
quick.
good.
Yeah, it's really quick and easy, and then you can put on top of it, like you can sprinkle with cinnamon sugar or something, or whatever you like, or like even like frosting or something, just a little
Strawberry.
bit. Yeah,
Ooh,
on top.
yeah,
So I like that because all these kids are very please eat that.
right. That's quick and
So
easy.
yeah,
So,
that is really
all right.
nice.
I wish we had an oven right now. I'd have Chris go out and buy all that shit. And then I'd say, make it for me.
Yep, definitely. No, that is very easy.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. And even if you like, like I said right now, I just quickly read the directions, but if you go on a Google and you put, like the cheese squares, then it would show up like, all how you do it.
Ah, okay. Cheese
Yeah.
square. Cool. All
Yeah.
right. I'll remember that for when we do move and then we do have that an oven, I can do it.
Right. So it's really nice and easy, and it cooks only like 12 to 15 minutes because the same way you cook anything with the crescent rolls, that's the
Oh,
same recipe.
cool. Sounds good. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Now I don't cook a lot. Chris does all the cooking, but I mean,
Well, he can do it if
yeah.
he is in the cooking because he has to cook and he should cook. But if he can follow the recipe, just very simple, and then you do it for a couple of times, and he's gonna be fine to doing it all on its own.
Well, see, if I would cook, I'd probably either burn the house down or something like that.
No. You would set yourself a timer because believe me, I actually the other day I was cooking and they were watching this football because I can smell nothing. My
Hmm.
food actually burned, and I told Kyle, I said, "Hey, can you mix it before you walk away from the stove?" Because he was doing other things, and I'm like, "Just make sure don't turn my timer off because I have to put timers on everything because I cannot remember, and I cannot smell if there is anything burning."
Uh,
So sure
okay.
enough, he was doing his own stuff, and he turned off my timer and everything else, and he walked away and didn't say nothing. And then I'm like, oh crap, that's been kind of a little bit longer than I expected to be cooking. And I walked to the stove, and my food was burned. And my husband's like, yeah, I smelled something burning. So why didn't you say nothing?
Exactly.
Right?
You're the one who can smell, not me.
So I told him, I said, now you're eating the burned food.
Well,
No,
it's my
because
work. Gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah, no, it's really hard for me right now since I can't smell things and everything else. So
Yeah. Now, like when it comes to like meatloaf and stuff, I have mixed up because he don't like touching the raw burger, you know.
Right.
So
Oh,
I
that's
know.
my thing. I can't do that. But I learned that I'm like, I close my eyes and I'm just like quickly mix all the stuff in it and a cook, hurry up and wash my hands.
A
Well,
lot of people are like that. Raw burger don't get me, but sardines I can't. Nope.
Yeah, see, that's why like we have our like, traditional meal for Christmas. And I
uh-huh.
do kind of like I did modify a little bit than the way I grew up, what I make because my kids don't eat stuff and my husband don't eat a lot of stuff. So I
Mm.
try to make stuff what they accustomed to, and then I make meal that I will eat because I still strictly follow my tradition. So
Yeah.
for our tradition for Christmas, we eat like you have to prepare like 12 dishes. Not like big dishes, but like 12 things. Because like 12 days of Christmas, like you guys follow here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it, which is you put like 12 different things on your dinner table that it's considered a dish. So yeah, we do. I make mushroom soup. I make sauerkraut because my tradition, we don't eat meat on a Christmas Eve. On a
Hmm.
Christmas Day is a different story. So I don't have, like, I do make meat, which is for my family, but I don't eat it. But I do make fish, like breaded fish, and I really cook it nice. So I actually kind of got two of the kids eating it because one time they asked me what was it, and I told them it was a chicken, and they ate it and they liked it. So
Yeah. Well,
I'm
you
like,
guys.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to make
Yeah.
yeah,
it so your kids eat.
and right. So then they actually, so some of them they do eat, and then I do make like red borscht. I'm not sure if any of you heard it. That
No.
it's yeah, that it's kind of more of a European, like Ukrainian, Russian, and Polish and German. So we make that. And then, like I said, I make the fish and potatoes and vegetables. So it's like it's all accounts towards like a dish that it's 12 dishes. So
Now, what?
I eat my own portion, what I made for what I believe in tradition, and then I also make ham for my family and sometimes pork loin because again, pork is a tradition that it's like a Chinese thing that it's a prosperity for a new up to coming up New Year. So that's what I make too.
Yeah. Now, what is that red borscht, Mom? Is it like a Jello or
It's like
what?
a soup. It's like a soup. And you
Oh,
can actually buy at the stores. Like, I'm not sure exactly what kind of stores you guys have around you, but
yeah.
sometimes they do have like a different, like a world section, like,
Yeah.
that they do have it. So if you would go and just try to look on the shelf and it's like a jar, it's like in a jar and it says red borscht.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
if you would look at it, and then you can, because you can make your own from like, you can make your own stuff at home, which is you have to cook beets and then you season it and everything else. So it's like a beet soup basically.
Oh, okay.
But it's already made and but then there is another one that is like, that's why I said there is different type how people make it because German and Ukrainian, they do make it that they yeah, I don't shred the beets because my kids won't eat that, so I just only have the water, like just a soup basically, and I do like like season it and everything else to a taste. So
Yeah.
that's what they eat. But the other one, that is the Ukrainian and the German, they do shred that there is actually little particle of beets inside the soup.
Oh,
And
okay.
people, so yeah, and it depends, like if you try it and you like it because you just season it to your taste, and if
Mm.
you like it, it don't bother you, then you can eat that. Everybody has a different taste.
So it's just the beets, right?
Yeah,
No,
it's
no
just
anything. Or,
no any other thing, but then again, to eat with that, because like it's the soup, but you don't put no noodles in it or anything, but you can make it like sometimes I do boil an eggs and I cut up on like four, pieces, four squares, and I just throw it in. You can eat it with that. Or we can make we all usually make our own like I can explain the best way to kind of give you guys idea what it looks like egg rolls, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
we make that with ground beef or mushrooms or sauerkraut, that it's all wrapped up, and that's what you can eat it with.
Now, Polish food is a lot like Russian food, right? I mean, is
it's
there
it's it's mixed. It's kind of mixed, like because we live south of Poland, so it's like mixed. The cultures are kind of mixed, that we took like all the dishes, that it's some of them are Ukrainian, some of them Czechoslovakian, some of them Germany, and some of them even Hungarian. So it's
oh,
like because they were travelers, and everything
Yeah.
else, and everybody kind of mixed the tradition. So yes, it's just what you like, like a family's picked up on this. Oh, my family likes that, so I'm going to keep on doing that. My
right.
family likes that, so it's just like a custom to the culture, what the family liked.
I guess it's kind of like America because we have our dishes and everybody does it differently around the world, you know?
Right,
Like,
yes, everybody compromises to their liking, yes.
yeah, okay. All right. That's kind of cool.
Definitely.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, that's my kind of thing. And we sometimes makes for Christmas, we make like the Christmas cookies, like the cutout, like, to make
Yeah,
a
the
big.
sugar cookies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or usually I also make kolachkis. I'm not sure if you guys heard about that. That
No.
it's like a cookies with the preserves in it.
Oh, those like our thumbprint cookies, probably.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like that because see, I make it that way because they are
Oh,
made differently. They are made like a butterfly kind of thing, that you cut it
oh,
out and then you fold that thing so it's on top of the preserves. Then it looks like a butterfly. But our kids, they don't care how they look. They just like to eat it. So I just thumb press it and I put the preserves in and I cook it.
right.
My mom makes, I don't know the recipe, but she makes these ones where she puts kisses on top of
Oh
them.
yeah, I do that too.
Bird blossoms, yeah.
Yeah.
Bird
I
blossom.
Yeah, I do that too, that one too, because they love it. And then I just sprinkle it like after they come out of the oven. I just sprinkle it with powdered sugar.
Well, when Chris and I first got married, we tried to make cookies and we burn them, so we don't do that.
Have you guys ever tried sour cream sugar cookies?
My
No.
mom makes some, yeah. My mom used to make
Yeah,
them.
I
they are.
used to make some but the one of the ingredients, turmeric in the cookies, my
Mhm.
dad was allergic to, so I stopped making
Well,
cookies.
the sour cream sugar cookies, they are actually very, very simple and very easy to make. And they bake so nice and like fluffy because you put sour cream in it.
Mhm.
It's like half a pound of butter, 2 cups of sugar, 2 eggs, 1 cup of sour cream, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 teaspoon baking soda, and 4 cups of flour. So you mix all that and make like a dough, like it's not runny or anything, but like you can make your like little ball and then you just put them on a pan sheet, to cook it, and they
Yeah.
kind of flatten in the oven. So they
Yep.
look very nice. And they are very fluffy when they come out to eat. Very
Yeah.
nice.
I love those kinds of cookies. And I told Chris when we first got married, I'm like, go home, Mom makes these sugar cookies. Oh, they're the best. And I told him that the sour cream in them. He's like, ew, gross. Yuck.
Well, that's why you don't tell people nothing. Like I told you,
He's like, yeah,
I
that sounds
told my kids stuff that one child wouldn't eat pork chops, breaded pork chops, and I was like, okay, so now what am I going to make you something to eat? Because when they were little, sometimes I had to make 5 different meals, kind of, to please every one of them. They were very picky because one wouldn't eat this, another one wouldn't eat that, another one eat that, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me, you freaking little shitheads. So I told him, I said, that's chicken, breaded chicken. So he was eating that, then he loved it so much. Then finally, when he actually got, I was, I think, 16, 17 years old, and we had guests over, and they asked, oh, what are you making for dinner? I'm like, yeah, I'm making breaded pork chops. And he's like, what? And he looked at me like so serious. I'm like, why? You told me all these years that was a chicken. I'm like, because you wouldn't eat it, but now you love it, don't you?
Can't say how much.
Kids are freaking picky as hell, and
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
believe me.
sad.
What, see, like Lawrence, when he was little, he would not eat anything but cream of chicken, cream of broccoli, cream of potato soup. He would not eat any other food because he has sensory disorder. So the texture and everything else, and the smell and all that, it was really, really kind of like really bad to it. So he would not eat it, nothing, even when we went to the restaurant. So he's like, I'm not eating nothing. I'm like, why? They have stuff here nice that you can maybe always only eat cream of chicken, cream of broccoli, cream of potatoes. Then when he turned about 10 years old, he switched. He would not eat anything else but, like, again, chicken or something like chicken nuggets, macaroni and cheese, all that. Like, and Matt would not eat any food but chicken nuggets from McDonald's. So he was about 8 years old. I have to, after work, I always had to stop at McDonald's to get something to eat for him because he would not eat dinner. So he was another picky eater. So I'm like, oh, you guys gonna kill my ass.
I know. We had a nephew. Well, we have a nephew that only will eat like a certain kind of yogurt. It's got to be dino shaped chicken nuggets, and it's got to be mashed potatoes from the mashed potato store.
Oh my god.
I'm like, mashed potatoes from that? What? And mom goes,
Yeah.
oh, he's talking about mashed potatoes from KFC. I'm like, those are disgusting.
Yeah, this is crazy how these kids sometimes they drive you nuts what they say and what they wanted to eat because they are very picky. But now when they got older, what's for dinner, ma? Well, what I make, that's what you're gonna eat. I'm not making you people anything what you want.
Well,
And if you don't like
exactly.
it, you don't like it, you have your own money, you have your job, go get your own food.
See, and that's the thing. Like literally, my son, he's a human vacuum cleaner. He'll eat anything.
Oh, that's good. I wouldn't mind if that, you know how many leftovers like there is in the fridge, and then 2, 3 days later I have to throw it away, and I'm like, I'm freaking bothered. Like, I'm so tired. I told myself, from now on, I'm not going shopping. If I'm gonna go shopping, I'm only gonna buy for dinner that I know that people gonna eat, and I'm gonna make it that day. I'm not making no dinners because you people suck. Because then I have to spend money on food, driving, time, then cooking it, wasting gas and all the stuff that I have to cook with. And they put it in the fridge and then it goes in the garbage. So what's the point? I'm not
Yeah,
doing it.
Right.
right. Well,
Right now,
Cody will
with
help you work that out.
right now with the situation we're dealing with, only select few people actually know what we're dealing with. That's why I put my camera down so nobody could see.
Okay.
We're making homemade dog food on top of their regular dog food so that way they can get extra nutrition.
Nutrition, yes. No, I actually, I was actually thinking about it to doing that for our dogs because the old dog, she's got really bad, like hip pain and everything else. You
Yeah,
can tell when it's cold, she barely can walk. So I already bought her medicine, like, like from Chewy, like, so
yeah,
without a prescription. So I bought her that. But then she's really like her teeth are bad because she's old and some of her teeth fall out. So she can chew hard food. So I'm trying to mix it things like, soft with, with
yeah.
other food so she can
Oh,
get all that.
Tanya has a
So,
good.
we're doing chicken. We're taking and boiling a bunch of chicken,
mhm,
carrots and peas, and then
right.
you can mix an egg in there just so that they get the extra protein from the egg.
Hmm.
and you mix it all together, and then they get like a cup of it
Didn't you
Right.
three
put?
times a day.
Didn't you say
Yeah.
there's rice in it too?
You can do it with rice if you don't have a lot of chicken. You can do it with rice or oatmeal.
Yeah.
Right.
When we first got the few home, we did um, rice, oatmeal, carrots, and green beans all mixed together. We call
Well,
it
peas
slop.
are very good with the iron source
Yep,
of iron. Peas are very good
yep.
for that. Yeah.
But we call it slop for that. We call it their slop. These
Hmm.
All of these dogs ate a frying pan full of it. Like
Oh
those
my God.
big
Yeah,
frying
big frying
pans.
pan. Yeah.
Yeah, they all ate a big fry. They love it.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do with our
And with
dog
the
right now.
oatmeal and the rice, it's
Yeah.
it helps them maintain their weight or gain weight
Right.
because it fills their stomach fuller.
Right. It stays a little bit longer so in their system, so then it feels like they're not hungry all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So, um, which works especially if they have been malnourished.
Yeah.
Then,
My sister always make her own dog food, and I'm like, this freaking dog eats better than anybody else. Cause she, they always make sure they cook nice and everything else for this poor
Right.
dog. And she's got a that little big dog, that little itty bitty dog.
well, exactly. And like, because we have so many dogs right now, we can do a big bag of chicken and 2 carrots and a bunch of peas and
Mm,
just throw it into a pot, cook it all up, kind of like make homemade chicken noodle soup for the dogs.
right, right.
And that will last all week for the dogs because we just do 1 cup per dog
Yes. Hmm.
twice a day, but we also add in their regular dog food.
Right, just a little bit so they can get the
Yeah.
nutrition stuff.
So
Yeah.
what? So they're getting the well. If you go to Walmart or almost any place, they have that already made frozen food,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've
or
seen
not
it in the
frozen food,
fridge.
but
The
simply
fresh
fresh.
pet. Yeah, it
Yeah,
says fresh pet or something,
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that's literally just chicken,
which is you can
peas?
make it at home
Exactly. Why am I going to go spend $27 when I can make it at home for
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 less.
$12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
a week, really.
Well,
Yep.
But it
definitely.
will last a week if you do a cup per like twice a day.
Right. No, it will because I try to do that for our dogs too. Like I give them like a decent portion in the morning and then at night. So unless if they asking for something between, I just buy them a treat and I just give them a treat. So
Right.
Dr.
Well,
knows all about that, huh?
yeah.
yeah,
We
Roy left cheats on the bed the other day, and the doctor's staring at him like, "Hey,
believe
so
me, because the dog food and the cat food is get expensive, and we have quite a bit cats and quite a bit dogs and quite a bit two-legged animals. So
yep.
that food money is outrageous.
So that's why we're gonna go with making them
yeah,
making it and then also doing the extra protein by throwing in regular dog food. You don't go
Right.
through as much dog food then, and they also get everything they need.
They need, yeah,
And
no,
it's easy
definitely.
and simple. It's like chicken, carrots, cut up,
Right,
and peas, and you throw it like you would make homemade chicken noodle soup,
right,
except for you don't add the cubes and the potatoes and all of that
right. You
stuff.
don't just add on, yeah.
But they'll scarf it down. I mean, literally, when he came in with the pot, I don't think you guys seen it, but he came in with the pot of it, and they just scarfed it down like it was nothing.
No, definitely, because they do like that. Because, like, why do they say that the dogs stand by your table when you eat? Because they want to give them the food what you eat because they smell it. but it's not good to feed them always table food because it's all the other stuff that you add on. So it's not good, like the salt and all this stuff. It's not good for the dog.
Exactly. And that's why doing it the way
Yeah,
we're doing it is great because
without nothing. Yeah, just to
it's
cook in it.
exactly, and the carrots will taste like the chicken and the peas will taste like the chicken.
Right, because it's all cooked together. Yeah.
So they'll want the chicken. My issue is I'm allergic to chicken.
Yeah.
So
See,
we just make a big, huge batch once a week and
right.
they
No, that
go,
that
it
definitely
lasts
is
all
good.
week.
So Tanya's
Definitely.
got to share her veggies.
Yeah, I share my veggies with my dogs.
Yeah, and that's how I eat. But they sometimes don't like stuff what I eat
I was hungry
because they
one
like
day.
better than they I eat.
I was hungry one day and literally I'm sitting here munching on lettuce and my pups are just going nuts. So I started throwing lettuce at them and they're just, they eat it. I'll put a carrot in their kennel and they'll eat them.
Oh, that's nice. Cause see, the one dog, the older one, she loves watermelon. Soon as she smells the watermelon, oh my gosh, she almost jumps on the counter to get it. And I'm like, you all that's gonna fall on the floor and kill yourself
Yep.
because she eats it like so, like everything. And like even sometimes I give her cucumbers, so she eats that too. But the
Well,
other
and
one doesn't
those,
like it.
those are really good for them because they're full of water. So,
Right, which is that's what I'm saying. Like I know that it's water and for them, so it's good. But the I tried to give the younger dog and she doesn't like it. I'm like, forget your ass.
right at that point in time, you're like, yeah,
Yeah,
no, you can go bounce.
you can go lay in your corner, and the old one can have her food, what she likes.
Um,
Exactly.
Now I know Dad's a diabetic too, right? Well,
Uh-huh.
there is a pizza out there. Um, I forget how Chris makes it, but look it up online. It's a diabetic pizza, and
Yeah, there is.
he made this shit one time. Oh my god, that was so good.
Well,
And
that's just like if you're really trying to cut down on
potatoes,
gluten, you could use potatoes. You take mashed potatoes and you cook them until for like 15 minutes at 350. You just cook them until they're kind of, stuck together, formatted. And then you add your sauce and your cheese and your meats and you throw it back in until the cheese is golden brown. And you can pick it up like a slice of fucking pizza.
Yeah.
Pardon my
No,
French,
they
but
usually they usually say, and they also say that cauliflower, like to get the top of it, so to make it like into adult. So that's why I have heard about, because my neighbor, my old neighbor, that she actually like wanted to lose weight and everything else. She really worked hard and she lost almost 100 pounds in 1 year.
Mhm.
But she said she didn't even know that cauliflower can be that good and can make a lot of stuff from it. And because that's what you have to cut out, the carbs, so which is all bread and flour and all that. So if you
Yeah,
substituting that with other than that, then you just add on all your ingredients and all the other stuff to taste, then it's the same thing.
yeah. Well, like I know that I think with this crust you just use like eggs and cheese. I think
Right.
that's what made it to make it stick together. But oh my god, it was
Right,
so good.
because the eggs, they keep it together. When you add an egg, that keeps it together.
It was so good. Oh
Yeah.
god. I was
No,
like, I ate
definitely.
it like half a pan. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
but my husband, as far as the food goes, he tries to watch what he eats because he notices like if he eats certain things, his sugar goes high. But
uh,
then he's like, "You're not gonna take everything away from me." I'm like, "Well, because your sugar is going high." Well, I'll decide it on that. So I'm like, "Okay, go ahead, eat your freaking ass hamburger."
well, a hamburger ain't gonna actually my
Just the meat.
egg, yeah,
the meat.
just the
But
meat.
no, he eats the
But
whole thing.
if you add veggies and stuff,
Yeah.
it it's still
It's not
fine.
as bad
But once
because
you put the bread on there, that's
right.
where it's.
That's
but
what it all
it's
comes down to. Yeah,
Yep.
it's because bread and gluten and wheat and flour and stuff turns into sugar.
to sugar. Yes, and that's why it does. But believe it or not, he actually found out because he loves steak. But he found out that he cannot even eat steak because his sugar jacks up to like 400
Oh wow.
after he eats steak.
What is he adding on to that steak?
Nothing, just he just put like a little bit of the sauce, but that sauce shouldn't make it that high. And he was like, maybe I'm not gonna eat anything else but just the steak, like just the meat. Sure enough, sugar went up. So now he's like, no, I cannot do that.
Wow.
That's weird because
It is because
steak
that's
is one of the best.
right, because
Like
it's a red meat and it's a high in iron. That's what they told me because I'm iron efficiency.
that could be he's getting too much iron,
Right,
which
which is
would make your
and make it, yeah, all the vitamins and all that jacks up, and then it makes it high on
yeah
the other thing. Yes, which is that's why I told him. I said you probably don't need no calcium, you probably don't need no iron, you probably don't need none of that, and all this stuff is in the red meat. So that's what jacks up the sugar.
Right.
Because
exactly.
like his
Well,
sister is diabetic too, and she loves steak, and she always makes like his steak tacos and steak this and steak that. And I asked her one time, I said, doesn't your sugar go high? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, then you two are different.
Yeah,
right.
I
Well,
think I think that issue is literally he don't need any of the extra vitamins in the
Right.
meat. So
Hmm.
then it's turning it into a sugar.
Right. And it jacks up that sugar then.
Yep.
well, even like when you're cooking, if you can use some spices, like we were having macaroni and cheese, okay, and I'm trying the whole new spice thing. And so, well, I had turmeric in there. Cody's like, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna put a little bit of turmeric in there. I was like, okay. He's sitting here and he's like, Mom, that made it taste cheesier. I like that. And I'm like, hey, if it helps you lose anything, more power to you. I don't care.
Right. No, see, when I do make spaghetti and all that, I do add on all the spices into it because, nobody's going to taste it.
Well,
Right.
see, and
But
that's
I
the thing. A
do.
lot of food is bland as can get out if you don't
Yes.
add
And
spices.
and if you add on yourself whatever it is, and sometimes you then add on just the things that actually helps your body, then it's all mixed up together, and nobody's going to even notice the difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And
Um.
that's when you tell them if you don't like the way I cook, please go cook for yourself.
oh
I'm
no, I
begging
I
you.
do I do tell them all of like I said, the beggars can be choosers. So, you wanna eat something? If I make it, you eat it. If you don't like it, go get your own.
Last
Amen to that.
last
Yeah,
night I was eating crackers, but they didn't. They weren't. They were saltines with no salt. Right. That's what I was
right.
eating. And Cody said, "I want to put one and take it in my mouth." And say, "Oh, that's disgusting." He had to give it to the doc.
No, because see, the salt is not good for you. Too much
Uh,
salt.
yeah.
A little bit of salt is good, but too much is not. See, like for example, because I don't have a thyroid, I'm not supposed to eat salt
Mm.
because that it's too much for, and I actually get sick from it. Like if it's like salty, like when we go to the restaurant or whatever, like sometimes they do put a little bit more than they should. So I get sick, like my stomach hurts and everything else. I can't eat salt. So I usually buy the crackers too, the unsalted crackers, so nobody eats them. And I'm like, good, that's for me.
Good.
You know
And I
what
know
you
I
do
can
then?
myself too.
Yeah.
You take those unsalted crackers that nobody wanted and you put frosting on them and make
Hmm.
little sandwiches. And when they're like, "Ooh, I want to try that," be like,
Yep.
"Nope,
Because you don't like it.
you don't like it."
That's it. Yeah, no, definitely. I usually try to because see, like I can eat a lot of stuff also due to my digestive system and everything else. So yeah, I do buy cheese and I just eat cheese and they like, so what are you gonna eat for dinner? I'm like, I already had dinner. What did you eat? You didn't have nothing but cheese. I'm like, well, that was my dinner.
Yeah, we eat a lot of cheese around here too.
Yeah,
See,
because
when the kids were little, okay, I I don't cook with the stove or anything, and all I can cook is in the microwave. Well, one day I took there was a box of corn muffin mix, and I wanted to make them a snack for when they got home from school. I took the
mhm.
corn muffin mix and I poured a can of pizzas in it, and I threw it in the microwave, right? And it cooked up perfectly. And the kids got home and they're eating it, and they're like, "This is good, Mom. What is this?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about that. Just eat."
Just eat. If you like it, just eat it. That's it.
And then after they got done, they're like, "Mama, what was that?" And I'm like, "Corn muffin mix." And they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, pretty good."
there you go. Because sometimes, I think that the process of a brain, that it's like what the name is or what it is, and how you see things, through your own self, like what you translate in it. Oh, this is disgusting, or this and that. That's what makes people not to eat a lot of food. But if you try it and you don't even know what it is and you like it, then go for it, eat it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yep.
I can't trust people telling me, well, just eat it because my ex sister in law never believed me that I was allergic to poultry, and she put turkey in the meat.
Um,
And literally, I spent the next 3 days in the bathroom. And she's
No,
like,
but
well, I didn't think she was actually allergic to it.
no, that's no. I usually, because see, one time I actually broke down so bad that I end up in the hospital in my body because, like, my husband wanted a Chinese food and they usually cook on peanut oil and
Yep.
everything else. So I didn't think nothing of it, that, it was touching it. So I just had the rice. And then next thing I know, my whole face is red and blisters, my neck, my feet, my arms, everywhere. I'm like, what the hell did I eat? And I couldn't figure out. So when I went to the hospital, they like, what did you eat? What did you touch? What did you do? I'm like, I didn't touch nothing. I didn't do nothing. I'm not sure exactly what it is. And I just had rice last night. And was uh, was it touching any with peanuts? I'm like, well, my husband had a Chinese food, so he ate that. Well, you know that they cook on the peanut oil. I'm like, I'm allergic to peanuts. There you go.
yeah.
Yeah. That,
I remember like I had shrimp. I'm not allergic to shrimp, but I think what it was they left a piece of the shell on the shrimp, and my face puffed up, and I could barely talk, barely breathe or anything. And Austin and Cody both crying, and they're freaking out, like because they didn't know what was going on. And as
Right.
soon as they took me right back and got me all cooked up and everything, and they're like, "Mama, are you okay? Are you okay?"
Yeah,
I'm
no, definitely. Sometimes when if you don't, you're not sure exactly, I usually, like, when we go to the restaurant or something, I do ask, like, if I do buy some food, like, that I know that it could be with peanut oil or anything. I'm like, how is this cooked? I always ask, or, well, I cannot have anything touching with peanuts or anything.
right. Right.
So,
Have to be
that,
careful with that shit.
yeah, food allergies suck.
Yeah.
Especially when you're sitting there and you're just like, okay, well, I'm going to, I know this don't contain chicken. And all of a sudden your face is like you said, and you're
right.
going,
And you can breathe or nothing. Yeah, definitely.
and you're swallowing Benadryl left and right. And they're like, but you didn't eat chicken. And I'm like, well, apparently it all,
Something was all touched, yeah. Or
yeah,
was cooked in the same thing, yeah.
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 So
Um,
when we
Chris,
go out to eat at certain restaurants, I don't touch anything.
Mm-hmm.
well, Chris listens to this one girl online, and she's even worse than you, Tanya. She is allergic to just about everything, and I'm like, oh my God.
Well, a lot of times that's like literally up in your brain too. I know there was a lady that convinced herself she was allergic to so much shit, and when they did the allergy test, it never came up that she was allergic to it.
Well,
With all
because sometimes people, when they like they coordinate things, like if they eat something and they actually like ate maybe for the first time and they didn't like the texture or something, and then made me throw up, or maybe it made them nauseous or something, then they
yeah,
convince themselves that, oh, I'm allergic to it, I'm not going to eat it. No, that's
Right.
not how it works. Usually it comes out on your body. Either it chokes you, because like if I eat just a little bit of peanuts, it chokes me. But if I would eat more or something, I break out with all red stuff, blisters all over my body. So that's how you know that you are allergic to it. Because just to like be nauseous or vomit or something, no, you just might have not liked it or whatever, and it just your stomach, didn't agree with, and then you just throw up. But if nothing comes out on your body, because they usually always say, if you're allergic to anything when you start breaking out on your body in spaces that you never seen it before.
Right,
yeah,
except for here's the thing, when I eat fish, it doesn't matter what kind of fish it is, how you cook it, how you prepare it.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the bathroom for days throwing up. It ain't
No,
like just once throwing up. It's like projectile vomiting for
right, because
hours.
you don't agree with it. Because see, like when I have my MRIs done, they actually ask me, am I allergic to seashell or something? Because the dye that they put in you to see it, that it's kind of that. So they always ask me, or if I'm allergic to something else, like they ask. And I'm like, no, I'm only allergic to peanuts, and I'm allergic to poison ivy and everything else. So I guess I'm alive. So that's why they always ask you that. But that's why certain things, yes, your body's rejecting. Like Kyle and my oldest son Michael, and I am allergic to penicillin too. We cannot get no penicillin. So
Penicillin makes me itch really bad. Another one
yeah,
that makes me itch is whenever I take Vicodin, I will scratch my nose until it's bleeding because it itches so bad.
yeah, because say like I cannot have no medicine that is with codeine because I have a seizure. So I cannot. So that's why I said, like, if I get sick, I'm just gonna have to wait and die, because I can't take any medicine to help me.
please
So
don't say that.
We're going back to
no,
the old ways.
no,
What
I'm
we're
already, yeah, I'm accepted. I have acceptance, so I rather, like, if I do get like I don't feel good or something, I do make like food with garlic, because garlic is like a kind of antibiotic.
yeah.
So, and onions is very good. And then I do make my own, syrup for the from the onions. And that's how I can survive, because I cannot depend on any other medicine.
Right.
I know you're like up there in the colder states where there's like a lot of Indian tribes.
Hmm.
If you contact a medicine doctor, like an
I,
Indian medicine man,
yeah, I haven't.
they make their medicines from natural organic roots and stuff.
Yes,
So you might be able to get something for like all of that stuff off of
right.
those.
Yeah.
And
No, I was thinking about it one time. I was like saying that I would either go to like Amish town or look at the Indian tribe and to see like what they have, because I do believe, like I said, when I was growing up, my great aunt, the one that watched us, we never been sick, but she always went to like, pick out all the roots, like you say, the
Yeah.
Indian and everything else. And she cooked those things and she made those things and everything else. We were never sick when we were kids.
Uh Same with Roy's family.
Hmm.
When they were growing up, it was all natural herbs and stuff. Like they
Right.
were actually going out there and picking them.
right.
Yes. Well, when I was a kid, like I said, I really did forget a lot, because, when you don't use it, or you're not around it or something, then you kind of forget things. But I actually, like, like my aunt always told us to even go, like when we would go to forest, not what to touch and what to eat or what not to eat. So she taught us all that, and what to bring home, like even leaves and everything else. She knew how to do all that.
Right. Do you know, like, when you go to the doctor to get medicine, you think that, oh, it's good for me, it's not gonna hurt me. Do you know how many chemicals and, all kinds of crap that they put in there? I'd rather do the natural shit,
Right,
instead of that
right, definitely,
chemicals. Because man,
definitely.
they could do more harm to you than they could good.
Because think about it, it takes, like they say, it takes at least 30 to 60 days to see the results of this medicine to be taken. Well, I
Right.
don't think it should take that long, because if you take something that is natural and everything else, you notice it within 3, 4 days that you're feeling better,
Exactly. And
Right.
not
that's the
30,
thing.
60 days.
It's all the chemicals they put in the pharmaceuticals.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That and matter of fact, there was a thing read on Facebook where they switched out the inhalers on a guy, and the old inhaler, 2, 3 puffs, good to go. The new inhaler, he was using it more frequently and having to take like 8, 9, 10 puffs just for it to be able to work. And he's like, I don't understand this. But then if you think about it, the more puffs you use, the more money you have to spend on getting another one.
Definitely, because they then you have to use it more often, and then you get out of it more often. So it's like you have to buy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a way for pharmaceuticals to make more money.
Definitely.
Well, we're going to give you this, and it's going to be, you won't see effects for 90 days. Well, great. In that 90 days, I could possibly die, you
Right.
know? Like blood pressure medication. You take blood pressure medication, and they're like, oh, well, these are all the symptoms. Well, they never take into consideration that if you have this heart disease and you have this heart disease, those medicines coincide with each other. So you either take one or you take the
Or you
other.
take younger. Yeah, you don't take both, because then it's too much, and then who knows what can happen.
But if you take one, your heart rate's going to drop even further down. And
Hmm.
if you take the one for your heart rate, your blood pressure is going to skyrocket.
Yes, and it's always interfering with one another. Always.
And it's like, can't you guys find a happy medium?
Oh
Isn't there
yeah,
some roots or something you guys can do about it?
That's why
definitely.
I haven't had blood pressure medicine in about 6 months
Well,
because of all the spices.
right. That's good. I mean, that's a good thing, because, like I said, I don't know. These people always just all these medicines and medicines, medicines, medicine. I'm like,
Right.
can you just figure something out without the medicine? You know?
Right. It's like, I was taking the chia seeds and I'm telling my doctor about it. And he's like, oh, really? I take them too? I'm thinking, you asshole, why didn't you tell me about it?
Right.
And
That's
it's
it.
once again, it's the pharmaceuticals where
And
they
she can't
can.
even take them. She
Yeah.
can't take them.
I can't take them. I
She went
bought
on,
them, but literally, I'm sick for days after taking them.
Yeah, no, because that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes your body rejects it because of a certain things that your body don't agree with. So you have to find yourself what you're able to do.
Which I'm gonna go try flex seeds and see if they help.
I got to thinking, Tanya, okay, in those chia seeds, they're high in omega 3s, right?
Right.
Fish has a lot of omega 3. So could that be why?
Yeah, I don't need I'm
Probably.
my omega 3 levels are like almost all the way up there, so
So maybe that's why then. You
yeah,
can't.
Yeah, like maybe it's interfering with one another.
Right.
exactly. So I gotta figure out what's gonna work for me. But because
Well, I
I'm
know.
on a meat diet, I don't like I only eat meat and vegetables. That's all I eat.
Yeah.
I've dropped 25 pounds.
Oh,
No.
that's good.
And it's not like a boom, I'm down 25 pounds. It's a gradual 25 pounds.
Which is
Right.
that's when they say it's a healthy losing weight,
Exactly.
not like
Um, but I feel fuller when I eat more meat. So a lot of times it's like, hey, can I have, I'll eat like 3 eggs. I ain't afraid to admit it. But then I
right,
don't eat anything else until like lunchtime, and then I do like a potato or something along those lines, and then
right.
I'll wait until supper time, and it's a meat and a veggie.
Yeah, no, that's a healthy way to look at it that way. Yes, sometimes you want it to go like, oh, I don't see the difference. But no, if actually you just go with it and everything else, you will see the difference.
But they say
Exactly.
the more meat and stuff is like protein. Meat, eggs, that's
Mhm.
protein. The
Yep.
Yes.
protein. I guess
And they say that to eat healthy protein because there is other protein that there is a bad and is a good one. So to
right.
like research it, which one is it good for your body and how much to take, and which one is bad because everything is too much of something is too bad, or not enough something is bad. You
Which
know.
is why I switch it out with like a veggie in there. So like I'll eat three of these and then a veggie, and then I'll eat a meat and a veggie.
Mm-hmm.
And Thursdays, everybody's like, "Are you tired of eating potatoes yet?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not," because
No,
even though potatoes are starchy,
but
they're not as bad for you as like if you were to eat 2 pieces of
Bread.
bread.
right,
Yep.
which is like my doctor when I told him because they asked me like what do I eat, I'm like I usually switch up because like I don't eat potatoes every day and I don't need like because everything it seems like it's bad for you. So what are you gonna eat? You have to eat something, but if you
Right.
don't eat overly too much, it's not as bad because everything's gonna balance between everything else.
Yep.
Well, and that's like the sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Even my regular potatoes, I'll cut them up into like little cubes, sprinkle
Hmm.
a little bit of oil on them so they don't get totally dry because I hate dry
Right.
potatoes. And then I'll
Mhm.
put some Italian seasoning, garlic, onion powder, get that flavor in them.
Uh-huh.
And I'll throw them on the oven and I'll cook them. And I'll just sit here and munch on them. And they're like, why
Yeah.
are you eating
Good.
so many of those? And it's like, because it's yummy.
Yep. Yep. Because it's good.
Yep.
But you can ask Missy, I don't know how many times they've seen where I'm literally just sitting here chilling and eating potatoes,
Yep.
whether it be mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, cut up homemade fries,
Yep.
um, homemade potato chips,
Yeah, I did
uh,
it sometimes too.
my little cube potatoes. Every day I'm eating potatoes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um. Now, like, Tanya, how do you do the meatloaf? How do you make it?
What do you mean?
How do you make your meatloaf? What do you
Who
put
the
in it?
hell eats meatloaf?
You don't. Oh, you don't eat meatloaf?
Normally in meatloaf you add crackers or bread. What does Tanya not eat?
Cheese or bread and crackers.
No, I usually don't add all those because I cannot eat that.
Oh.
I put a little bit of a breadcrumbs, which is
Ah.
not as bad, like to the meat.
You could take Fritos
Yes, you can
and
also
put them
do
in
that.
there because
Yeah.
here's the thing, Fritos are gluten free.
Hmm.
Mm.
They're made out of corn.
Right.
Yeah.
The only issue is your body does not digest corn. But if
That's why I usually use like a little bit, not a lot of breadcrumbs, but it's just like a little bit, like maybe
enough to
two
really
teaspoons.
pack it together.
So it's like holds it together. Yeah.
Right.
The
So
eggs. I
yeah,
put
I put the
a
egg
little milk in it. Yeah.
and I put the breadcrumbs and I put the seasoning like any other meat I would season, and I all put it together, mix it, and I put it in the oven and I cook it.
Now, do you
Yeah.
add ketchup to the top of it, or do you wait for it to get out of the oven and add ketchup
I
separately?
I never put ketchup on my meatloaf. Whoever wants it, then they can put it on their own plate.
I
I
gotta
don't
go
eat.
potty. I will be right back. You guys continue.
Right. Well, with our meatloaf, we put the crackers, the 2 eggs, a little bit of milk,
Yeah,
um,
just a little bit of
a,
milk too. Yes, I do that too.
a bunch of cheese. Chris loves cheese, and
Yeah,
then mix it all up, put it in the oven. And when it's just about 10 minutes before it's done, he'll pour like mushroom soup over it, and then put it
yeah.
back in. And that's
And
how
just
he.
to have it like that. No, that's good because see, I don't eat ketchup because I don't like ketchup, and ketchup has a lot of sugar.
Yep.
So that's why my husband used to eat a lot of ketchup, but when he got diabetic, now he actually just very little sometimes adds on to some food to just to get add the flavor a little bit. But I don't put ketchup on a meatloaf because some people do, and I have seen it because I get cookies, whatever. But that's too much sugar, and I don't like it. So whoever wants it, I cut up on pieces, slices, and on a plate. Put it on your own food, and that's
Yep.
it.
Well, I was researching because I'm on arthritis and everything. They said tomatoes are a bad source
Yes,
when when it comes to arthritis. They're a bad thing, so I try to stay away from all tomato products,
yeah,
except for salsa. I love salsa. I can't help it.
because they also put some other things in there, like they put other, seasonings or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yep.
So which is that's good. So
Well, um, I was talking to Amy, and she was telling me that onions are loaded with sugar. They're bad with sugar.
They
Um,
are.
and she tells me to stay away from them.
yeah,
I'm
like
like, why?
that's why I usually only like to get not the actual like onion, but to put in a food. But I actually only buy the, onion powder to just sprinkle it for the taste. So that's
Yeah,
what I
Yep,
only.
that's what we do too. Is the onion powder.
Mm-hmm.
that's
Now
why.
there are times that we do like a half of an onion for a full pot of whatever. Then
If
you're
it
not getting
calls
a
for,
lot.
yeah, if it calls for, I usually try to put not like too much, but just a little bit, so it's like
Mhm.
fresh. Because usually they say that even vegetables are better that they grown on the ground than buying any kind of these preservatives and everything else. So I usually try to do that, but not overly too much.
Yeah,
Well,
because
It's a lot.
and there is like good sugars and bad sugars.
right.
And
Yes,
that's the thing you got to really hone in and separate them because if you're I'm not eating this because it has a lot of sugars, then you're missing out on the nutrients that it does have
Right.
because some have good sugars. Like onions are really, really good for like if you have bronchitis
right.
or
Yes.
any upper respiratory infection, or if you put onions at the bottom of your feet, it will pull the toxins out of your system.
Right.
Yes,
You got
yes.
it.
And that's a natural way to get rid of whatever is ailing you. But
Like,
like,
go ahead. I
uh, go ahead, I'll drink.
okay. Well, you were saying that it's good for bronchitis and everything. Well, I also was researching. There's thyme that you could take to. It helps with like the bronchitis and the colds and the flus and all that other shit too. So, you
Okay, but
know,
I'm not gonna sit here and drink time. I'd rather literally take some brandy, brown sugar, onions, honey, lemon, and mix
Right.
it all together and heat it up.
Mm-hmm.
Strain it out and pour it into a cup and slam it down and go to bed. Sweat my ass off all night. You gotta stay
And
under the covers in your bed.
yes,
Sweat
and then
your
in the
ass
morning
off and
you
morning
feel
you wake
better.
up fucking
here,
100%.
Yes, you feel
during
better.
your first time you drink the brandy and all that other shit to feel better.
Uh, Whenever I ask Roy for a hot tonic, that's what he brings me is you take like 2 tablespoons of honey, You take
Yeah.
a quarter of a cup of sugar, a cup of brandy, a half an onion, and one lemon, and just
Yeah.
squeeze the juice in there. And you bring it to a boil and strain it out. And within minutes, you're already feeling hot because you're going to be warm anyways.
Yeah, because from it goes from inside out, and any
Yep,
sickness usually has to come out from inside out.
Right.
exactly. So then you're literally sitting under a blanket or
Mm-hmm.
two, depends on how much you want to sweat. And you go to bed and you sleep for the whole night, you're gonna end up waking up and being like feeling so much better.
Right.
Right. Well, I think football's on, guys, so we're probably gonna have to continue our discussion maybe later.
Yeah, no, definitely we can do that, and
Yeah.
because the
Uh,
football is starting, I guess already.
I just heard Chris go, damn! So I know
Oh
that.
my God, yeah. So definitely,
I'm glad I don't have to deal with that because we don't watch football in this household.
But see, the only thing he was getting all excited about is something else was going on in the game. Not the score of the game, but something else happened. So,
right? Something else probably happened. Yeah, definitely.
yes, we're making fun of you.
No, it just showed the game since there's a 15-minute free preview of the Sunday ticket and I got it on the Lions game.
Oh.
One of the Lions players jumped up and Justin Fields just showed how gay he really was trying to slide in between his legs.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, you guys.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
done.
we're done for the day.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
good.
let's give our last words, Mama. As always, you go first.
Well, I would like to thank everybody. Appreciate it that you guys let me have this kind of conversation with you all. And I do like to talk about certain things that, on a regular daily basis, life, that it's kind of normal, I hope.
Are we normal?
But, well, that's another day conversation probably for, but
Getting another live
let's,
stream set up already?
Yeah.
yeah, let's call it a normal conversation when it comes down to cooking food or anything.
What we
But
could
when it
always
comes to
do is
Chris,
while you're cooking supper, we could watch you cook supper and have a whole conversation with you.
Oh,
Yep.
definitely. Definitely. Like I said, I mean, always.
We'll get Lunatic Dad on it so he can get it set up where a camera records to it so we can see instead
Yeah.
of the camera you're on, have like a different camera set up to it. So
Okay.
that way we can see you cooking and you can tell us how you're doing it. We can have an actual conversation while you're cooking.
Well,
Yep.
that would be nice. I actually, one time, I think I did, like, he recorded me when I was making the cabbage rolls. There is somewhere the video out there. So,
Yeah.
like, from
So
the,
Dad needs to get on his game and start cooking, record you cooking.
well, yeah, maybe.
Or he could get a tripod. I don't know where
But
my
sometimes,
tripod is.
yeah, sometimes he's in the way when I'm in the kitchen and he's like,
So you
just,
get a little tripod that you can like put your phone up on.
Yep.
yeah,
Like out
maybe
of the
that.
bed. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. It's where
Yeah. So maybe
you can get
definitely.
out of the way and you can do what you got to do and cook, and then you ain't gonna
Right.
deal with people in your way.
Okay, well, maybe one day we decide and we have to get him on it to see what he can help me with it.
Well, if
If we're up there, we
if
can do
everything
it.
goes right,
Yep.
and I have to go back to my mom's, I'll get it set up for you.
Oh, okay.
We'll get it all nice and set up, and
I'll
all
even
you
go get
have,
the tripod for you.
yeah, all you have to do is sit there and hit play or record,
Okay.
and then I mean, your kids love editing. They could do do where it's like you're cooking it and then like it comes out and you finish
Right.
whatever
Like
your
a finished
preparation.
product. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Or we can do it like a cooking show.
Mhm.
where they show her preparation in it,
Tell
and
them.
already
Tell
have
them
one
I
already
said,
done
Chris,
and them
Chris.
coming out.
Hold on.
Chris, 7-0 Bears touchdown.
It's only the first
Yeah, but
drive.
you have to see how gay Justin Fields
So,
was.
there's the thing. The TV showed how gay your quarterback is trying to blow the Lions defensive player.
But
Oh,
Look,
my
you
God.
guys right.
we appreciate everybody coming in. We will get it set up so Mom can teach us all how to cook because,
Right.
you know, I love watching people cook and I love listening to how to cook.
Okay.
I
Well,
suck at
maybe
cooking,
one day we
but,
can do that.
All right.
but I love you guys and I appreciate everybody coming in. I hope you have an amazing day.
Yes, you guys have wonderful Sunday.
All right. I want to thank everybody for coming in. You guys are all awesome. Mom and Tanya, I love you guys. Y'all are awesome too for being with me and putting up with him.
No, you are good.
And
Love and
now,
light.
we save the best for last.
Love and light. What?
Mom.
Yeah.
Mom went
I
first.
already went first.
Oh,
We
So
had
you
the
missed
best for first.
You
Anyways.
missed it.
Mom just doesn't want you to be forgotten.
yes. I'm trying to stay on Mom's good side. Give her a double one.
You know that never works.
All right.
That's
I
beside the
love
point.
you
I can't
all.
try still.
Love and
Well,
light,
thank
guys.
you, and have a wonderful Sunday, everybody.
Hey,
Bye.
can you do something for me?
Bye.
You yell into the living room and tell your husband, "Go Lions."
Oh, he would kick my ass out.
It would only be one time.
And one time too many times because it's cold outside. I don't want to live outside.
Okay,
She'd be
fine.
sleeping in the doghouse.
Exactly.
You guys have a good day, rest of your day.
You too. You too. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye.
Bye.